caught in the crossfire. It's caught in the
What's up, guys? Lance the Obscure Movie Guy coming to you once again with another fun-filled, fact-filled video that you probably won't care about, but we're going to do it anyways, trying to change the world one post at a time. Today's video is done in partnership with Indie Horror Junkie, so be sure to go to indiehorrorjunkie.com to check out all of their offerings. The latest issue of the Indie Horror Junkie magazine is set to drop 13th of this month, so be sure to go pre-order yours today. $5 for a downloadable PDF, $20 for a printable copy shipped straight to your door. There's also the Indie Horror Junkie podcast every other Wednesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. New people to talk to, new movies to go over, new stories to tell. You can also sign up for the Indie Horror Junkie newsletter set to come out on the first of every month. This contains a little bit more information on some of the stories that they couldn't cram into the actual Indie Horror Junkie magazine. So sign up for that today at indiehorrorjunkie@gmail.com. Now, let's dive into today's video, a horror slasher with some urban flair. Today we're talking about Ratchet.
I'm going to a function later on. It's going to be a lot of money there. You should come.
I would, but I'm supposed to show my face at one of my clients' parties.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Dee and Ron.
Really? What's up with that dude?
Hey, yo, what you got them roses for, G? You going on a date or something? Yo, you just at the club, were you?
I think I just saw somewhere.
In a developing story, a young couple were found brutally murdered at a venue near West Heights. One eyewitness says that they saw what appeared to be a man in a brown suit jacket and black boots leaving the scene.
Detective, I think it's the same guy. My guy had these things coming out of his hair, like braids. Did the security guard describe him like that?
Him lay claim to a woman without her knowing. And when her life was taken, him grew strong with revenge.
Revenge against who?
Anyone or anything that him deemed responsible.
You think there's a masked man who's running around out there targeting the undesirables? The Ratchet? You want me to care because...
You see, the potion, it clouds the taker's judgment.
You gave a man who is mentally disturbed a potion that will keep him alive? How do you kill him?
Tell me when you know.
Ratchet is a 2025 horror film written and directed by the Green brothers, Saeed and Rashid Green, starring Andrew Board and Christina Karras. Tells the story of a slasher on the loose in an urban setting around a music artist with a girl gone missing. There's a lot to unpack in this one, so let's dive into it. Now, the opening credits sequence of this film was actually pretty interesting. The opening credits first open up to basically a guy that you don't really get to see, but he's kind of putting together like this mannequin, and it's kind of creepy. The music kind of eerie, and as you're watching him put this mannequin together, then he basically staples the picture of a girl or a woman onto the head of this mannequin, basically making her the mannequin. And then those opening credits actually get split between that and then a kill scene that kind of it sets the tone for the movie as far as what's about to transpire, and it does kind of make a foreshadowing of some of the other characters that you're going to meet um, throughout the course of this film. So I thought that was really interesting how they did that. It was a unique dynamic. I will say that the setup is pretty typical as far as the horror trope goes, but I think it was executed pretty well. And you see this guy get killed, you don't really know why he got killed, who did it, and that's kind of the point, because this does become a little bit in this film. It does become a little bit of a who done it type situation. Now from there, we kind of fast forward in time a few years later to Christina Karras's character, basically playing like a music producer, music agent. She's affiliated with this up and coming rap star who's been making it big. He's got a lot more spotlight around him. And unfortunately, at a party one night, a girl goes missing at this party that he's affiliated with. And of course, this girl was last seen with him. So he becomes prime suspect number one in this missing girl case. At the same time, there's some random killings going on in and around the city with not a lot of rhyme or reason. And like I said, it becomes more of like a who done it. Was the rap star, last seen with this chick? Is he all of a sudden a serial killer? Is there another killer on the loose? Is it a monster? Is it something else? There's a lot of subplots throughout the course of this film that don't they tie together very late in the film, but for the first like 35 minutes you're kind of playing with these subplots and these storylines, and you're going to be asking yourself, how does this all tie together? I want to know. And once these killings start happening, you get a detective on scene to start trying investigating some of these murders, and he's primarily investigating this rap artist and this missing girl, and comes to Christina's character, kind of like, this was actually a really good scene. I really like this scene. The first interaction between Christina and the detective was actually a really good scene. I probably would have switched the dialogue around a little bit. And what I mean by that is, when they did this scene, he kind of came in very aggressive and very aloof. He's very much had the disposition of, she's probably protecting her artist. And then they kind of swap that towards the end of the conversation, um, where she very much alludes to the fact that, I don't know anything about what happened to this girl. I'm not even that big of a fan of this guy's music, which was kind of a cool little story arc for that character. It was a really good scene. I probably would have switched it around. I probably would have had him come in a little bit softer and end out going more aggressive, more like, I still think you're hiding something from me. But it was a really good scene, and the screen chemistry between those two characters, or two actors on screen, was really well done. It was really impressive, and I really liked the detective in this film. Did an amazing job. Now, outside of that main plot of the rap star, the missing girl, and the detective trying to figure out what's going on, you have Christina's character, Alicia, kind of struggling with the loss of a prior character. I don't want to give too much away in that regard, because it does play a key plot point for her character and her character's story arc. But Alicia is still dealing with some of the trauma from, somebody in her past going missing, kind of under similar circumstances. Um, and she's also struggling with the fact that she's not necessarily doing what she wants with her career. She does enjoy the music industry. She enjoys making music, but she does not enjoy the type of music that she has to produce with this rap artist, and doesn't really like him as a human being. So she's dealing with a lot emotionally, and she's got the most comprehensive and complete character arc throughout the course of this whole film. One night, she sees a guy basically be killed in the middle of the street. He's walking down the street. He's got some flowers. He's got a mask on. Creepy looking guy. And he basically gets gunned down by a group of gentlemen because he was at a club earlier and caused a bit of a disturbance. So it was a bit of retaliation in that regard. So once those guys gun him down, she's kind of left there like, holy crap, what did I just witness? And as she's trying to make the police phone call, this masked guy gets back up with no issues and continues to walk down the street. And that kind of sets the precedent of, okay, there's something weird going on here, something far more supernatural than what I am accustomed to. And then she starts doing kind of like her own investigating into what it is that she saw, what it is, who she saw in those regards, and that kind of leads her to like a local witch doctor, if you will, bit of a male psychic who kind of uh, plays a small game with people. You know, he can predict lottery numbers, or you know, he can maybe help you uh, in some other regards. Nothing that's too. He gives off the illusion that he doesn't know as much as he does. He's kind of small time, um, but he's not. He actually knows a lot more than he's leading on people to believe. Now, I will say that there is a lot going on in this film as far as the plot and subplots go. And I will say that for a lot of it, you don't really necessarily know how any of them are connected. And they do come together in the late goings of the film. Around the hour and 20-minute mark, all of those plots and subplots actually come together really cohesively. And it all starts to make a lot of sense in what's going on. Um, there's still, and what's interesting about that, when they did that, and I'm trying to avoid any spoilers here because I want people to go see this film. It's actually pretty good. But when all of the subplots come together with the main plot, they still do a good job of there still being a little bit of a whodunit fashion to the film in regards to some of the killings, and then still like this supernatural aspect of, you know, kind of like a Michael Myers type character, which I thought was pretty unique how they presented that. Now, as far as the fundamentals go for this film, I think they did a really good job. The camera quality is really good. The cinematography is great. Uh, the special effects are pretty good. There's some fairly interesting kills in this film, um, and I think they did a good job of making a unique antagonist as far as the masked killer goes in this film. Um, they did a really good job with mixing a few things in this film. So this is a really good um, mixture of like urban culture, the music industry, and horror slasher all mixed together as one. And you know, on paper, you can be like, well, it sounds kind of weird, right? But they did an amazing job mixing it all together in a very comprehensive story. And I think they did a good job of creating their own kind of version of like Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger. You know, it's a slasher at heart, and the slasher character they did a great job with kind of creating this urban type cultured, you know, killer on the streets. He's got the masks, he's got his weapon. They even give it a little bit of flair with like dreads. So I think they did a really good job of capturing all those things, bringing it together in a very comprehensive storyline. And again, fundamentally, the cinematography is good. There's no audio issues. Um, some of the editing, and I think it was really just a stylized preference. Some of the editing was a little weird to me, but I think that was just a stylized preference. And I'm pretty sure if I watched some more of these guys' films, it would probably be pretty similar um, to what I saw as far as this film goes. As far as any negative connotations with the film, I don't really have any. They did a pretty good job bringing everything together as a complete story. Um, I mean, the biggest negative things with me, I mean, maybe like I said at the beginning, the detective scene, I wouldn't have changed the dialogue. I probably would have just swapped how that dialogue was interacted with the characters. The only other thing that I found a little weird, um, there is a kill scene, and I don't want to dive too much into it, but there is a kill scene that's done through like a webcam. You know, a guy's watching a girl on a webcam, and the only thing that struck me odd was the interactions between the guy watching the girl and the girl with the guy, because in the beginning of that scene it kind of sounds like that they're able to talk to each other, um, So it sounded like a general conversation, like, hey, it's me, oh, hey, it's you, type scenario. But then when the killer shows up, he's, the guy's watching this on the webcam, and then it's like he's trying to warn this chick, but she doesn't hear it. So it seemed kind of weird that, like, it kind of felt like they were able to talk to each other, and then all of a sudden they weren't able to talk to each other. So I mean, it's neither here nor there. I mean, it's just something that I kind of noticed. It felt kind of weird. Um, and in that particular scene, when the girl does die, I kind of feel like she'd have been able to see the guy in the room. So just the way it was set up. Um, but it's still a brutal kill that it's going to make you, oh, damn, that sucks. But I mean, other than that, I really don't have a whole lot of negative things to say. I think collectively they did a really good job of, like I said, mixing horror with urban culture, music industry, and they gave some of these characters some really good arcs. Um, the only other thing I had a problem with, and I'm not going to dive into it too much, something happens to a character at the end of the film, and you don't see it happen. You're basically just told, "Oh, I took care of that guy," and it's kind of it's for me, it was kind of like a big plot point. Like, okay, so things went down, and you're just not going to show us. I don't know if that was done as a time constraint, which is kind of odd to me because there is a few scenes in this film, especially with the male witch doctor and like reading off lottery numbers and stuff. There's a lot of filler in a couple scenes that you probably could have taken a lot of that filler out and probably put in a scene with this character at the end of the film showcasing what actually happened to him instead of a character just being like, oh, I took care of that. It was very kind of done and set aside, like, oh, we need to add, like, it was almost like it was an afterthought. But I don't want to dive into too much of who that character was or who the players involved were. So I mean, other than that, like I said, great job bringing this together. It's very interestingly put together as far as the plots and the subplots, and they do tie them all together really well at the end of the film. So I would highly recommend go check it out. Ratchet. If you like horror slashers, I think this is a pretty good one. And like I said, they did a great job of bringing horror and the music industry and urban culture all together as a very cohesive film. And yeah, check it out on streaming services. Ratchet from the Green Brothers. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and comment to my YouTube channel. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram. I'll see everybody in the next one.